Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make a delicious teriyaki salmon. Stay tuned. Here's the salmon that I selected for this dish. This was a skin-on salmon that I got from Sam's Club, and it was about 3 1/4 pounds. And I kept some skin on, some skin off. I marinated it with these spices, and I used cumin, cinnamon, ginger, and pepper. The liquid I used was, of course, soy sauce, apple cider vinegar, rice wine vinegar would be best, but this is what I had on hand, oil, and garlic, minced garlic. So I cut that salmon into chunks. I got about 7 pieces, and I had some littler pieces. I marinated that for about 30 minutes, and then I started the cooking process. On medium heat, I got that salmon down just in some oil, and you want to make sure you scrape that marinade off because it will burn. It did start to burn a little to the pan, and so you had to clean it in between. Meanwhile, while the salmon was cooking, I got water boiling, seasoned heavy with salt, at least a tablespoon of salt, guys. You want that water to really flavor those green beans. Now, I washed those green beans, and those were the pre-cut green beans, and I paid about $6 for 3 pounds. What I'm doing here is I'm just going to get them cooked, because they're going to also get sauteed in the Asian marinade a little later. I like a little bite to my green beans, so I'll only cook that for about 5 to 7 minutes to make sure it stays vibrant green. I also have rice here. For my family of 5, I do 2 cups of rice to 4 cups of water. Of course, ratio, you always double the amount of water you want for your rice. The salmon here is getting nice and brown. I'm going to cover that up and let that rice finish. And here's a couple pieces of salmon that I pulled. And I'm just touching it to make sure it's to my doneness. The recommended cook temperature for salmon is about 145 degrees. So if you're new to cooking it, make sure you get your thermometer and make sure it's cooked to the proper temperature. Here I have more salmon down, and I kept a little more marinade on those. It really has a really rich, beautiful color, and it's soaked in all that flavor from the marinade. Just double checking my rice again. It's about done. Probably needs a couple more minutes. Now I'm going to check my green beans. That's been boiling about 5 to 7 minutes. And you don't want to cook this to mush. You want to make sure your green beans have a bite to them. One of my favorite side dishes at the Asian restaurant that I get are these green beans. And they always you have to have a particular bite to them. Not too mushy, not too hard. So now, after I've drained the green beans, I'm going to go ahead and get them in a saute pan. I have a couple tablespoons of butter and some oil down, and I'm just going to drop those in the pan. Just going to give them a little stir, make sure it gets coated with the oil and butter. And I'm going to go ahead and cover those to get my spices. Check on my rice real fast, and it is done. It's fluffy. There's no more liquid at the bottom of the pan. It's good to go. I'll just cut the heat off and set it to the side until I'm ready to plate. Okay, so now here's my green beans that I've put a couple more pieces of butter. I have some ginger, some cumin, and I'm going to drop about 2 tablespoons of garlic. Sounds like a lot, but you know, those green beans at the Asian restaurant have lots of garlic, and I am a garlic fan. So I have 2 tablespoons of garlic that I put down. And I'm going to add about 1.5 tablespoons of the soy sauce, and that's going to be my salt. I use salt just to season the water for the green beans. And I'm going to give that a very generous toss to make sure everything is coated. Now I'm going to go ahead and cover those and let those cook for a few minutes. Now it's time to build the plate. I'm going to have a nice generous portion of rice. And it's just plain white rice, just like you would get at, you know, the Asian restaurant. Piece of fish down. You can choose. I did some, like I said, guys, some I did skinless, some of them I kept the skin on. My children prefer the skinless portion, and I eat either one, and so does my husband. He's not picky, but my girls prefer skin off. I'm put a generous portion of those green beans. Now I'm gonna swing around, grab the sauce. Now that is the marinade from the fish that I microwaved for about 2 minutes. And here's your plate. Yes, it was so delicious. So much flavor. Here again is an overview of the plate. And please, guys, don't forget to comment and ask any questions. Follow this recipe, and the flavor is so magnified you won't miss going out. You know, sometimes it's good to cook in and just, you know, save those extra pennies sometimes and make it yourself. And you're just, you know, proud of your work. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.